On August 24th, 79 AD, the people of Herculaneum, a prosperous seaside town in the Bay of Naples, watched in horror as Mount Vesuvius erupted, hurling a boiling, churning column of gas and ash 10 miles into the sky. It was only a matter of time before Vesuvius would unleash its fury on Herculaneum, killing its citizens in horrifying and gruesome way.
Here we are in Herculaneum. This is the name of the modern city that exists on top of what used to be Herculaneum, which was buried by the eruption of Mount Vesuvius. And this was the first one that was actually discovered in 1709 when somebody was digging for a well in the modern city. They were digging for a well, they found some ruins, and then word spread around. Some local people were coming to dig tunnels in the ruins to find, treasures or whatever. And then it wasn't until about between 1725 and 1736 that the actual archaeological excavations began, and that's when they realized the size of this place. And then Pompeii, which is the bigger city and more famous, was actually excavated after that later.
Wow. Although it was smaller than Pompeii, with a population of up to 5,000 people, Herculaneum was a wealthier town. It was a popular seaside retreat for the Roman elite, which is reflected in the extraordinary density of grand and luxurious houses with far more lavish use of colored marble, beautiful mosaics and ancient statues.
I feel a tiny bit dizzy, just because I can't understand that it's such a big, this is like a complex, it's a huge complex. And then of course, on other parts of the excavations, there's just normal houses and stuff, so it's just so amazing. Yeah, so this is the entrance to Herculaneum, and obviously its ground level was a lot lower than it is today. So this is the tunnel that takes you down to the original ground level, and then we're going to go under the road, the pathway we just walked on, and walk around the huge complex that we saw.
It's so hot we had to sit down and
In the shade.
hide ourselves in the shade a little bit. And it's actually quite nice and breezy here. Imagine the boys must have been running around the streets like crazy, playing, screaming, doing what boys do best.
Something else that's quite clever is they build all these buildings, but then they have passageways between them separated so that you get wind tunnels developing everywhere. So on really hot days, you walk into a place like this, as soon as you hit this corner, there's this lovely breeze coming through.
A classical street layout separates the city into blocks, defined by the intersection of the east-west and north-south streets. A symphony of sounds, a rainbow of colors, the voices of merchants, and a cocktail of smells filled the streets of Herculaneum. So this is the house of Nonius Bulbus, and apparently one of the richest houses in Herculaneum, with a size of approximately 1,800 square meters. And look at the detail.
That was hand painted, so somebody did this thousands of years ago with a palette. And, oh my god.
Yeah. Must have been a water well in the middle. those clay, what do they call, like objects that were actually found in the house, and they were typically hung in the houses to ward off evil spirits. Apparently the house was built in a very prominent position with a good view of the sea.
In a typical Roman house, the ground floor was divided into two sectors, a public and a private area. The first revolved around the atrium, whereas the private area was characterized by the numerous bedrooms overlooking the porch. And of course, the dining room. It was so important for the Romans. This is where the owner could show off all of his wealth.
So look, all of the mosaic floor is original, just exactly as it was when
It was built when they used to live here. And look how beautiful the walls are. I guess this is the ancient version wallpaper.
yeah.
Incredible.
Someone was saying that actually in those days the temperatures were not as high. I mean, it was still hot, but not as hot as it is now. And so, being inside these stone rooms might have felt quite cool, almost like air conditioned.
Yeah. So we're standing in the middle of an enclosed courtyard which was built in this house. It's another fairly grand house, so the person must have been relatively well off. And yeah, it's a lovely courtyard. During the excavations, the archaeologists found some marble tables, so this is clearly a place that they used to come out and maybe have meals in the middle of the day or in the evening when the sun went down. Maybe they would come out and just sit around and enjoy the weather, enjoy the construction that they have here. One of the features of this part of the building is this terrace at the end, actually housing one of the tables that they dug up. But this terrace, can you imagine? This terrace used to overlook the sea. This terrace was built because there was a fantastic view of the sea here. And then of course the volcano eruption comes, covers the whole area in meters and meters and meters of volcanic ash, and of course the view to the sea is gone now.
This is a local pub, or a tavern as they call it, and that is the marble counter.
Hello you, what do you like? Rice? You like wheat? You like some berries? We got everything. Couple of days.
These two gigantic columns are leading onto palestra, which is like a palace, a large area mainly used for sporting events. Entering this little passageway, I'm not sure where it's leading to. I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, looks like it's going to be cool, which is
That's true.
a welcome bonus.
We think this is all ash, and these are excavation routes.
Yeah, just tunnels where they're digging for
Tunnels.
further exploration.
Yeah. Wow.
Recreation of early photos of early excavation works.
Yeah.
Children carrying baskets of rock away.
And these are different pots they found, probably
Yeah,
clay
yeah.
pots.
And I was saying, some of those up there look like pizza dishes.
Yeah.
You
so
said it's a pizzeria or
it's
bakery.
a bakery, yeah. As Ross was saying, all of these houses are really posh. I mean, look at that. Someone had a 2-story house with such a beautiful yard.
And you know, some of the houses, loads of the houses, have these lovely square marble-lined pools, but they're not pools. They're only about maybe 6 inches deep. where, you know, I guess it was just like a water feature inside the main room. And I mean, it's just that kind of structure with the courtyards that we've seen, with the lovely trees and the pillars and palm trees and lovely grassy areas. I mean, that would be a luxurious thing in today's terms. Everything is just astounding here. I mean, it's really hard to comprehend, but it's so amazing. And apparently, as Masha said earlier, back in the day, the climate was a little bit different. I mean, on a day like today, you could easily get heat stroke. It's incredibly hot.
So these amphoras, you see them everywhere, almost in every dwelling. And obviously, for many of you know that these were used to preserve food, drink, I don't know, wine.
Either being
most
partly
likely
buried or completely buried. Being in the ground, it's like natural cooling because it's a lot cooler down there. So they didn't have refrigerators, but they had amphoras.
Mind-blowing experience. We would highly recommend, if you are ever in this part of the world, do visit this place, Herculaneum. And thank you for watching. Please like if you like this video and subscribe if you want to see more.